So I also read a story like you. I think you met John Mayer at the same time.
Yes, I did.
So what was that about? Like, how's that story? And I think he told you something like you were like one of his favorite guitarists.
Yeah. So in rehearsals, it was a big joke, on the Max song Small Worlds. I was like, man, like I love that beat so much. And there's a guitar solo. And so I thought that the beat was a sample. And so I was like, oh, shoot, like, where'd you guys rip this guitar solo from? Like, what record is this? And he was like, that's not a sample. That's my friend John. And I was like, John? Like, as in John Mayer? And he was like, yeah, like, what other John? And he was like, man, you better make sure you play it right because he might show up. But then he started laughing. So we're thinking like it's Hotel Cafe in Hollywood. Like, I'm thinking like John is not going to show up. Not, it's just like, okay, it's going to be a packed venue. It's a little spot. Again, it's in the heat of Hollywood. Like he would cause a mob, he's not going to show up. He actually did show up. He did show up. I did not see him in the crowd. But so basically the story goes, we finished set. I'm packing up my crap. I get my guitar in the bag and I'm coming off the stage and there's literally like, it was like the water split. Like there was just like people and they were like kind of slow clapping. Like I felt like I was like winning some kind of award or something. So I'm like, my friend Joe, who is the bass player, he's looking at me, he's just cheesing. And I'm like, yeah, it was a great show, right? And he's like, he's still cheesing. Like he's not responding though. And I'm like, okay, like this is like some Twilight Zone stuff. But it wasn't until I like looked, like I turned my head and at the end of this row of people was John Mayer standing there with his arms open. And I just went up and I hugged John Mayer and I was like, oh my God, like I'm a big fan. What the heck? Did I play that solo right? What the heck? And yeah, it was a super warm embrace from him. And he was literally kind of like speechless. Like, he's like, man, I've heard a lot of guitar players play for rappers, but like your approach. And, he literally was like referencing specific moments and songs. And I was just vibing. Like I was up there having, I think that was night 2. We had already done it Night 1 went amazing. I'm not going to lie. There's females in the crowd. Like I was having the time of my life.
Hey, you buzzing too.
Yeah. Buzzing. And then, but to know that like, what I did organically and genuinely, he really like, felt strongly about that it was good, was definitely a great feeling. And so, yeah, he then told me he's like easily, top 5 guitar players he had heard in a setting like that. And then he found more of my stuff. And of course I saw him again at the Vigil concert. And he just reiterated, how talented he thought I was and how, even before Mac had passed, that was just an evening that he had not forgotten, and so, yeah, that's my JM story.
I mean, that's a crazy story. Obviously, like you said, you grew up listening to John Mayer as a kid. So like,
yeah,
to be like, oh, this is him. This is the guy, like he's in person and I just played his solo and like, he's giving me all this praise. That's gotta be insane.
For sure.
The use of marijuana